Have you ever heard of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park? It's a place of breathtaking beauty, with misty peaks and lush, ancient forests. But in 1969, this idyllic setting became the backdrop for one of the most baffling and heartbreaking mysteries in American history, the disappearance of 6-year-old Dennis Martin. To this day, it remains the park's largest and most extensive search effort, yet it yielded no answers. What happened to Dennis? Did he simply get lost? Was he taken by a wild animal? Or did something far more sinister occur in those woods? Today, we are diving deep into this haunting case, examining the events, the massive search, and the strange clues that have puzzled investigators for over 50 years. It was Father's Day weekend, June 13th, 1969. The Martin family, along with the family of their friends, the Keys, were enjoying a camping trip. They set up camp at the Spence Field Shelter, a popular spot along the Appalachian Trail. The afternoon was filled with the sounds of children laughing. Dennis, his older brother Douglas, and 2 other boys were playing a classic childhood game, hide and seek. The plan was simple. The adults would hide, and the children would find them. After a successful round, the boys decided they wanted to play again, but this time they would hide. Dennis, his brother, and another boy named Carter ran off in 3 different directions, planning to jump out and surprise the adults. Douglas jumped out from behind one bush, Carter from another. But Dennis never appeared. His father, William Martin, later recalled the sequence of events with chilling clarity. He saw his son duck behind a bush, preparing to pounce. It was the last time anyone ever saw him. When Dennis didn't emerge after a few moments, the playful atmosphere quickly turned to concern. The family began calling his name, their voices echoing through the dense foliage. Minutes turned into an hour. The sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the mountains. Panic set in. Dennis was wearing a bright red t-shirt. He should have been easy to spot, but he was nowhere to be found. He had vanished, seemingly into thin air, just a few yards away from his family. The Martins immediately notified the National Park Service. What followed was a search effort of truly epic proportions. It became the largest search in the history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Over the next several weeks, more than 1,400 people would join the hunt for the missing boy. This included park rangers, FBI agents, local law enforcement, Green Berets from Fort Bragg, and hundreds of civilian volunteers. Helicopters equipped with infrared sensors scoured the terrain from above, while search teams on the ground combed through every inch of the rugged landscape. The search area eventually expanded to cover a staggering 56 square miles. The conditions were incredibly challenging. The terrain in the Smokies is notoriously difficult, steep, covered in dense undergrowth, and prone to sudden, severe weather. Heavy rain and thick fog hampered the search efforts almost immediately, reducing visibility to near zero and washing away any potential tracks. Temperatures dropped, adding a new layer of urgency. Dennis was only wearing a t-shirt and shorts, not nearly enough to survive a cold, wet night in the mountains. The searchers pressed on, day after day, driven by the hope of finding the little boy alive. They checked every creek, every cave, every hollow log. But despite this monumental effort, they found absolutely nothing. No red t-shirt, no shoes, not a single trace of Dennis Martin. As the official search wore on, a few strange and unsettling clues began to emerge. A family hiking several miles away from where Dennis disappeared reported hearing a sickening scream on the afternoon he vanished. Later that same day, they claimed to have seen a rough-looking man hiding in the woods near the trail, watching them. They only reported this to the Park Service days later, after hearing about the missing boy. Could this man have been involved? The FBI investigated, but the lead went nowhere. Then came an even more bizarre discovery. About 5 or 6 miles from the Spence Field area, a set of footprints were found in a creek bed. They were barefoot tracks, the size of a child's. But alongside them was a much larger set of footprints, from what appeared to be a man's shoe. This raised a terrifying question. Was Dennis not alone? Was he being led, or carried, away from the search area? The Green Berets on the search team believed the footprints indicated someone was deliberately moving through the most difficult terrain to avoid the main trails and the search parties. Yet, like every other lead, this one eventually turned cold. The trail of footprints simply disappeared. The official search was finally called off after several weeks, but for the Martin family, the search never truly ended. William Martin returned to the Smokies over and over again for decades, searching for any sign of his son. He dedicated his life to finding an answer, but he passed away without ever knowing what happened. The case has spawned countless theories over the years. The most straightforward explanation is that Dennis simply got lost, succumbed to the elements, and his remains were scattered by animals, leaving no trace. The Great Smoky Mountains are home to a large population of black bears, and some speculate that a bear might have attacked the boy. However, park officials at the time found this unlikely. Bear attacks on humans are rare, and they usually leave behind evidence, which was never found. Another theory points to an accidental fall. The terrain is treacherous, full of hidden cliffs and deep crevices. It's possible Dennis wandered off, fell, and became trapped in a location that was inaccessible to the search parties. But again, for no piece of clothing or any other sign to be found in such a massive search seems almost impossible. And then there are the darker theories. The sighting of the strange man, the unsettling scream, and the mysterious footprints have led many to believe that Dennis was abducted. Some people have even tried to connect his disappearance to other unsolved cases in the region, suggesting a serial predator may have been operating in the area. The idea that a kidnapper could navigate such difficult terrain while carrying a 6-year-old child, evading hundreds of searches, seems far-fetched. But it's a theory that many find more plausible than him simply vanishing without a trace. Over the years, the story of Dennis Martin has taken on a life of its own, becoming part of the folklore of the Appalachian Mountains. Some tales even venture into the paranormal, suggesting strange creatures or unexplained phenomena are to blame. While these ideas are fascinating, they offer little comfort to those seeking real answers. The most heartbreaking part of this story is the complete lack of closure. For the Martin family, the world simply opened up and swallowed their son. What do you think happened? Was it a tragic accident? A case of getting lost in the vast wilderness? Was it a predatory animal? Or was a human predator responsible for Dennis's disappearance? The case is a stark reminder of how quickly a person can vanish, even when surrounded by family in a public place. It highlights the power and indifference of nature, and the terrifying possibility of human evil. The disappearance of Dennis Martin is more than just a cold case. It's a cautionary tale, a family's unending nightmare, and one of the Great Smoky Mountains' most profound and enduring mysteries. The forests keep their secrets, and for now, the secret of what happened to Dennis Martin is one of them. Thank you for watching, and if you have any theories on this case, please share them respectfully in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating mysteries.